The 29th of October, 2012. Atmospheric physics has ceased to obey man. The ocean has come for New York. The viewer should feel the taste of ice water. We will follow the trail of this monster.
Water, wind, and fire.
All of a sudden, the ocean was in. It was like Fast and Furious.
You just watch your house go down.
Water rushed into the arteries of the city at a speed that engineers considered impossible. The subway has become a trap. It has long been known that with a wind of 130 kilometers per hour, rain turns into bullets. The security deal has been terminated. The city's pulse began to slow as the first transformers buckled. Lights flickered across the boroughs, a final heartbeat before the great eclipse. 8 million people were about to fall into a dark coma, caught between the rising tide and a failing civilization. This was no longer a weather event. It was the systematic dismantling of a modern empire by an ancient, hungry force. Tonight, we follow the trail of this superstorm to witness the absolute destruction of matter and the limits of human resilience.
And this right here is new video released by Con Edison, giving us a closer look at that massive transformer explosion inside the town.
8 p.m. The point of no return. For those who ignored the evacuation, the nightmare is no longer on the screen. It is coming through their windows.
The wave is going to make its move once it's now on shore. But follow this, and it's very difficult to see where the center of the storm is, but it's practically right on that Jersey shoreline. But then this storm continues to be a problem even once it's on shore, kind of stepping into that Pennsylvania border by the time we get to Tuesday. Then spends Tuesday almost all day.
A scientific
Tuesday
trap, a cold polar front, and the warm Gulf Stream created a perfect atmospheric furnace. The ocean turned into a wall, moving toward the harbor like a freight train.
Hazards are everywhere. The surf is getting more and more violent.
We're getting one heck of a back kick out of this thing.
And now it's under what, at least 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet of water.
That's on East 25th Street, right next to the FDR Drive. You can see the storm surge just flowing down the street, deep enough to partially submerge cars.
6 hospitals shut down.
And they're literally walking down the steps and out into these ambulances.
Engine reached the limit. Nature was preparing its main blow. Every minute of silence was a minute lost for survival.
Himself what was needed. Politics were put aside as the scope of the disaster became clear. In places like Maniloking, where Sandy cut a new inlet next to the bridge, a Herculean task to repair. Sandy blew Belmar's wooden boardwalk over to Ocean Avenue, even into people's front yards.
People were kind of like walking around like zombies, like just could not believe what they were seeing.
Now they see recycled...
Darkness became absolute. Darkness swallowed everything south of 34th Street. Manhattan was drowning in silence.
And new shots of the Seaside Heights coastline captured by the New Jersey National Guard. Usually these are sites we see in the Gulf Coast or in Florida. Tonight this is our backyard, these are our homes, these are our neighborhoods, and right now, our disaster.
Technology failed, leaving only the sound of the ocean. It was the absolute destruction of matter by forces we could no longer control. A surreal nightmare. Breezy Point was in flames, but the ocean was already inside. Fire and water joined forces.
The wooden deck it sat on had collapsed. Lou stood strong.
My goal is to get the pier operating and start building new memories for the guests of Casino Pier by Memorial Day weekend.
The rebuilding challenge was clear in these images from Chopper 4 in the days after Sandy. Today, you can clearly see how far this region of the shore has come.
Fire in the water, the ultimate paradox of catastrophe. Nature mocked man when water blocks the path to the fire. There is no escape.
Welcome back to our special on Superstorm Sandy, a decade of rebuilding. The storm hit various parts of the tri-state in different ways, but miles of the Jersey Shore were especially wrecked by storm surge flooding.
Let's go back to the night of October 29th, 2012. The time, 7:30. Sandy slams head-on into Brigantine, 7 miles north of Atlantic City. The damage would be catastrophic, with Ocean, Monmouth, and Middlesex counties taking the brunt. Homes, cars, and boats carried away. News 4's Brian Thompson was on the shore that night, and he explored where things stand now.
At the casino pier in Seaside Heights, late October still haunts Lou Sirigliano.
Every year they name the hurricanes, and we worry that, is this another one of those we have to deal with, and could it happen again?
The general manager of the popular amusement park was the man in charge the night Sandy roared ashore.
Nature doesn't negotiate. Every lost object in the sand represents a shattered deal with safety. The ocean took what it wanted.
From the Jersey Shore, we head across the bay, landing in Breezy Point, Queens. It lies on a narrow strip of land between the Atlantic Ocean and Jamaica Bay.
There are about 2,800 homes on Breezy Point, and 80% were damaged or destroyed. News 4.
An island turned into a graveyard of homes, a pattern of life established for decades, broken by a single tide. Listen to the foundation screaming. Long before the walls fell, the ground was already lost. The highest price wasn't just in property, but in the trust people placed in their borders.
Heavy damage. It would take my parents, their friends, their neighbors, just about everybody they knew, years to recover.
Her grandparents bought this house from my aunt and uncle.
They did it, Mary Elizabeth Smith says, for a simple reason.
We have family here. It's a part of our soul.
And concerns don't ease after Sandy's landfall.
Water was everywhere. In the faucets, in the basements, in the very air people breathed. The surrender was total. 8 million people were living through a scenario that physics shouldn't allow. Look at Roma Avenue. This is the ground zero of human tragedy. Let's look into the eyes of those who stayed.
Decade of rebuilding. The storm hit various parts of the tri-state in different ways, but miles of the Jersey Shore were especially wrecked by storm surge flooding.
Let's go back to the night of October 29th, 2012. The time, 7:30. Sandy slams head-on into Brigantine, 7 miles north of Atlantic City. The damage would be catastrophic, with Ocean, Monmouth, and Middlesex counties taking the brunt. Homes, cars, and boats carried away. News 4's Brian Thompson was on the shore that night, and he explored where things stand now.
At the casino pier in Seaside
Memories were floating in the muck. This is what remains when the pattern of a lifetime is shattered in a night.
Watching, wondering, where they live, where they work, how's it doing? What can you say to them?
Basically, right now it's everybody trying to survive. Food, water, shelter. They're doing the best to get the bridge back open and get help in and get us out of here. But the bottom line is, as far as the businesses go, we have to rebuild our whole community.
108 years of stability, gone in minutes. The heart of the city didn't just stop, it was drowned. Every dollar is a reminder of the surge. Every life is a hole in the city's soul.
Sandy obliterated Fire Island, the small 32-mile barrier island off Long Island's South Shore. The Atlantic Ocean water breached the island in 3 places, changing its geography. The tidal surge completely flattened protective sand dunes. The island was left without drinking water, and Ocean Beach's ferry terminal was demolished. Fire Island has come back, but it's a snapshot of what at the time seemed like apocalyptic damage.
Look at the stress points right here on the eastern quadrant.
The material fatigue is acceptable, but the flow rate metrics are still fluctuating.
All right, place it gently.
Got it. Hand me the water.
We must learn the lesson. The ocean is no longer a neighbor, it is a force to be feared. New York is ready, or so it thinks. The deal with the future is now on the table. Subscribe to know the truth about a world that no longer plays by the rules. Protect yourself. The deal is complete.